Hello, everyone. I'm Joey Sparks, and God's mercies are new again this morning.
This morning with my mind stayed on Jesus. I woke up this morning with my mind.
Any kind of conversation depends on the understanding of terms. If two parties disagree on what the terms mean, then they really cannot have a fruitful conversation using those terms. And so, one of the most unfortunate consequences or casualties of modern language is the abuse of the word love. So many people walk around using that word every day and yet do not use it and do not know its origin. We must remember always that love comes from God. God is love. John would tell us twice in 1 John chapter 4, God is love. Everything that God does is an example of what love does because God is love. It's his character, it's his nature. But it's not hard to find instances around us and perhaps even within us where we speak of love in ways that are not from God. Instead, we understand love comes from God. Therefore, we keep learning from God what it means to show true love to all, just as he did. When Jesus would prepare his disciples for life after him, he's just washed their feet. Then he says this in John 13, a new commandment I give to you, that you love one another. But hold up, that's not the new commandment yet. So that's in the old covenant. But then here's the new part. As I have loved you, you also are to love one another. So there's the new part. Now, initially, they're probably thinking as he's just washed their feet, we're to love one another. And there's some truth there. It's hard to rise to that standard. But just fast forward a few weeks, and you can see how when they look back on the cross and hear that phrase, just as I have loved you, you are to love one another. See, it takes on even more meaning. We are called to love, yes. What does love do? Love does what Jesus did for us, sacrificing himself for us. But also notice the next verse, John 13, verse 35. By this all people will know that you are my disciples if you have love for one another. That should challenge us as well, because we are so quick to want to be known for so many things that give publicity or give attention. And yet the one thing Jesus says we need to be known for is loving others just as he loved us. And one thing we need to be careful about with this verse too is that does not mean the whole world will accept us. See, Jesus is going to go on in the chapters that follow to remind them they're not going to accept you because they're rejecting me. But he also says they're going to know you come from me because you love like I love. So it's a challenging statement to know that the more we love, the more that shines a light on Jesus. But that does not mean that everyone will accept that love. It means that we make clear where our love originates, and that is from God, from Jesus. And thank you so much for your time this morning. It's our prayer that the timeless Word of God will be on your mind all day today.
I woke up this morning.